Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today. My name is Jimmy McDermott. Excited to be talking about log analytics and how much ChaosSearch has helped us scale our data lake. So just by way of background for Transeo, our overarching mission is to eliminate the pencil and paper gaps in educational systems. And what that looks like in reality is storing a lot of data for school districts, because everything that's on paper right now can be converted to some kind of electronic digital process. Now, we're part of a new ed tech product category that's been emerging over the last few years called readiness solutions. We pull together all of these disparate data points that schools are housing on students and show it to students in a really consumable and digestible way for them to understand, how close am I to graduation? What am I falling off track by picking a particular class or what have you? And so by doing that, you can just kind of start to grasp the sheer amount of data that we're pulling in per student, per district across the country at scale, and why logging started to become really, really critical for us. When it comes to just the logs themselves, is actually pretty simple, but the infrastructure and the requirements around it are not simple. We have one big monolithic service, but we've got many different types of logging outputs. So things that are coming from our database driver, things that are coming directly from our application layer, our networking layer. And all of those are coming into currently kind of a central repository. We offer retention for data and for logs up to our longest customers requirement. So our longest customers data requirement right now is holding on to data 7 years post-graduation. Before ChaosSearch, we had kind of this mismanaged way of bringing all these different items together. It was truly a mess. Like, we were really kind of at our wits' end looking for a solution that was going to actually bring all this stuff together. We did consider spinning up a self-managed elk stack. It really struggles at scale with that retention and that historical data. It's fine for spinning something up to analyze, really hot data that's hot for like a day, and then it needs to get flushed out of that system so that it can stay hot and stay cost effective. Because standing up those stacks yourself is something that was just going to break the bank for us. So we were truly lost looking for the right solution, and then. Perhaps most importantly, in a sense, it couldn't break the bank. ChaosSearch met all of those needs and then more. We stream our logs directly from our Kubernetes infrastructure right into our S3 buckets, which is amazing, by the way, because when we were setting up our new DevOps environment, we had engineers basically saying, like, why would we do that? Like, why not just ship it to this? Like, why go to the extra effort of setting up a FluentD connector to move things into S3? And they're all sold now. It didn't take long for them to really see the value of why we were doing that. And then the cool thing is that we don't really have to worry about those retention policies being managed by us anymore, because S3 has all of that built in. Our developers can actually iterate faster now because they're able to access real life production logs around certain features and around certain capabilities that they previously couldn't. And so they can actually make decisions about new architecture components or refactoring that are backed up by data. And that's really at the core of everything we're doing. Right now, we use a tool called Metabase to analyze our business data. And it's an open source platform you kind of deploy within your own infrastructure, and allows you to essentially tap into your underlying relational data and allow stakeholders kind of on the business, marketing, product side to pull together different data points if they need to. Now, the interesting thing, when we first started hearing about multimodal support in ChaosSearch, my brain and my wheels started turning quite a bit, because the idea of having our server logs and our database right next to our actual relational data in one place for all of our stakeholders to access is really appealing. And a tangible example of that would be, like, we have a dashboard that we've built in Metabase, for example, where you can put in one of our clients' identifier or a name and pull up the information you need to see about them related to, like, the user uploads that they've done, how many users they've uploaded into the system, et cetera, right? Really basic kind of support things that our technical integration and technical support teams need to know about. Now, what would be really cool and what we're really looking forward to is pulling together that structured data and that unstructured data into one place. So not only when you put in the district's name and identifier, you're not only getting things that are stored natively within our relational database, but you're also getting how many server logs have they pumped out in the last 24 hours, right? How many errors are in those server logs, and get deeper visibility into what is the actual usage that's happening at the very granular server level, as it's the most reliable place to understand actions that are being taken on the site, and really pull that together for our teams. And then from there, the floodgates are open, right? I can see our sales team is going to want this, our marketing team is going to want this, to really pull everything together in one place. On a super tangible level, we actually, some recent technical diligence that we had went way faster because we own our logs. Usually that's not something that ed tech companies are really thinking about. And so making this move actually led to a faster turnaround time for us on that tech diligence, which was really exciting. For the cost savings that you get for a solution like ChaosSearch, and then the fact that you layer on those enterprise type of features like RBAC and SSO and these other things that are part of the platform that with a different company you would pay ridiculous amounts of money for, that's incredibly appealing for a company that is dealing with intense data security and data governance requirements, but also not a super big company, right? We can't afford enterprise contracts. So this is exactly right. And it's exactly one of the reasons that we were so drawn to ChaosSearch.